Hi, welcome to the Wild Gut Project. If you're new here, my name is Carrie. This channel is all about being vegan on the low FODMAP diet for IBS. So a little history about me. I have a degree and master's in biomedical science, and I love reading up on research. I love following about gut health and nutrition because obviously it has a big effect on my life. And obviously I make YouTube videos about it, so I like to read on these things. And I've noticed that more on Instagram and people have been asking about certain remedies for IBS which really have no scientific founding in them and could potentially be really harmful. So I felt obligated to make this video about the bullshit cures for IBS out there that you really should know to steer clear of. So a big one recently has been celery juice fasting, or just drinking loads of celery juice. I followed lots of articles and they all just linked to another blog post, and I even did some searches on Direct Science and Google Scholar, and nothing. There's no legitimate science behind drinking a ton of celery juice. And actually the research there is about FODMAPs says that that's probably a really bad thing. It's going to be really high in polyols. Celery is a really high FODMAP food, and if you're drinking the juice, you're just getting tons and tons of polyol without even any fibre. It's kind of touted as this panacea of curing a huge array of very different gut problems, which is the first red flag. It shouldn't, it's very rare that anything can cure everything. There's nothing in it. I wouldn't do it. It will probably make you feel very sick and it'll probably taste really gross. A very similar one, and it's a pretty old school thing, is juice fasting and juice detoxes. Anything that says detox, run a mile. Your liver, your skin, your kidneys, they have got you covered on the detoxing. Just don't eat poison all the time and you're fine. And the thing with juice fasting is, for one thing, it's actually going to really mess up your gut bacteria, and you're taking away all of the fibre, which your gut needs something physical to push along. So you're going to end up with kind of gut motility issues and you're going to feel really unwell. You're also going to be eating a huge amount of fructose, and you're going to not be eating any decent proteins. And people always say they get terrible headaches and migraines because they're detoxing. It's like, you're just fasting, you're starving yourself. So please don't do that. Please don't pay for any expensive plans where they send you really overpriced vegetable and fruit juices for you to be malnourished. It's just not a good idea. Eat whole food, plant-based, and low FODMAP if you absolutely need to. One that's along the same vein is water fasting. Quite often health YouTube Instagrammers will go on water fasts. It's really not going to do anything for your health besides harm. There's really no valid reason to starve yourself. And your gut might feel a bit better to begin with just because you're not eating trigger foods anymore and the bacteria don't have anything to ferment, but it's going to massively disrupt your gut bacteria. What you really want is a healthy functioning gut, not one that only exists when you eat nothing, because that is obviously not sustainable. I guarantee you're a lovely human being. You deserve to eat delicious, nourishing food. Please do not starve yourself by water fasting. Now, a very cool thing that seems to be in everything, and it's activated charcoal. There was a really interesting podcast, I think it's Better Than Sliced Bread, and they were just kind of talking about cool beauty products, and they were saying about activated charcoal. Essentially it's charcoal that's been processed a bit that makes it really porous, and then things get sucked into those holes. It attracts stuff in. So when you're using it on your face, it's abrasive, and probably a little bit of oil in the skin on a very superficial level will get soaked in, so that's why it's touted as being cleansing. But there really isn't any good research for you ingesting it, and it's obviously not very specific. So even if it did magically soak up bad bacteria, it would also be soaking up the good bacteria, and it would be staying with you in you until you pooped it out anyway. So it would just be a very expensive way to either do nothing if you're lucky, or potentially do some harm. So that's another one, just stay clear. It'd be fantastic if a pill could just solve everything and we wouldn't have to eat healthy to be healthy. But now these last two aren't kind of the Instagram bullshit stuff, but they are kind of common knowledge that actually doesn't match up with the science. So one thing people often do when they have IBS issues is completely cut out all the brassicas, so like cabbage and broccoli, because they're often synonymous with having bad farts and things. But actually you can have really decent low FODMAP portions of those and it's absolutely fine. I eat broccoli almost every day, it's so healthy. In general, brassicas are a really healthy food group, and in the How Not to Die book with Dr. McGregor, he says eat them all the time. So do just have the low FODMAP portion. And finally, fennel tea. Tea with fennel in is always in the kind of calm tums, happy tums, detox teas. The thing is, if you go on the Monash app, which obviously please do get, fennel tea is super high in fructans. It has one mug of a weak fennel tea has high amounts of oligofructans, which is a trigger for a lot of people with IBS. So if you're having a tea with fennel in every day attempting to calm your stomach, you could actually be causing it with that tea. So just remember, if you're looking at some medical or health advice online, ask to see the original research, see if you can click back to that original legitimate study that's been peer-reviewed, and make your decisions based on that, and speaking to your own dietitian and doctor. But yeah, I hope this was useful, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks with another video.